Introducing the Easiteach Elementary Content Packs. We have a dual content strategy at RM, elementary and secondary. And firstly, I'm going to be showing you a selection from our elementary content packs. So, the different content packs that we have within elementary, we have English language arts, we have educational games focusing on numeracy and literacy skills, we have math, and we have science. And if you've chosen to purchase the content, then this is accessible by going to File, Open, and selecting the curriculum pack or content pack of your choice. So to give you an idea of the look and feel of a content pack and some example activities, I'm going to select my science content pack. So you'll notice that it brings me up a menu. And from this menu, I'm able to browse to lessons by way of grade or by type. So I'm going to go into my lessons and into physical processes and into my lesson on magnetism. Now, as I said before with the learning journey, if I just go and select my toolbar, oh, there we go, it's disappeared. You'll notice it begins with the outcomes. So today we are going to learn, and it gives me bullet points that I can share with my class. So as a group, we're all sure about what the lesson outcome is going to be. So I can move through my page numbers. This is all pre-prepared content. And the pull of the magnet is the first item within our lesson. The really nice thing about this is that a student can say what will be attracted and what won't, but they're then able to click on the item to see in action what effect it's going to have. So effectively whether they're right or wrong, whether it attracts or whether it repels. So there are two that attracts. Let's try something that repels. So let's look at a mug. So we get a thumbs down for that one. So we see an animation actually occurs, giving the students instant feedback. And animations can really help to engage our 21st century learners. When there's items moving on a page, it tends to pull their attention towards the teacher and what's being delivered. You'll notice a lot of hide and shows and clicks to reveal within the Easiteach content. These can be things that teachers can find that it takes a little bit of time to create from scratch. So we've made it very easy for them to integrate engaging resources within their particular subject area. All of the lessons end with a kind of review and reflect as well, encouraging the students to think about what strategies have been used. We can go back to any page number at any time and review an animation. I mentioned teacher notes, and at the end of every single lesson within the elementary content packs, there is a comprehensive set of teacher notes. These give step-by-step instructions, thumbnail views of each slide, any key questions that need to be asked, as well as any key vocabulary that needs to be taught within that lesson. So going back to the first page, you can see I can link back very easily to the main index. And as a teacher, I like the flexibility of having the content locally installed on my machine. I don't have to go to the web every time I want to use something, because it could be problematic. It could be that I've got limited bandwidth in my school. It could be that I don't have an internet connection in the room that I've just been put in. So Easiteach content packs have the best of both worlds. The content is locally installed, but the correlations are online, meaning that every time state standards change, so do the correlations, and the teachers have the most up-to-date working information. So let's now go to a simulation within the Science Elementary pack. I'm particularly fond of shadows during the day because it's this kind of resource that is really difficult to teach without technology. How you teach shadows without an animation or a simulation, I have no idea, apart from taking students out into the yard, into the playground, taking time out of the curriculum though. We know you've got a very packed day, you've got to pack a lot of things into the curriculum schedule. So being able to view shadows during the day using a simulation that we can zoom in on We can view the graph of the length of the shadows being created, pause it at any time, ask the students for discussion points or to comment on what's occurring in that graph. But it doesn't just stop there. Most of our simulations actually go on to provide the teacher with an interactive exercise to use with the class, thus to encourage interactive use of the board or the slate. So clicking on Where's the Sun and go, Easiteach generates a shadow for me, and I would then ask my students, one at a time, to come out to the board to drag and drop the sun where they think it would go in order to generate that shadow. And each time I click go, it's a completely different shadow, as you will see, so we can really begin to check our students' understanding of what we've just delivered. Now, it's always good to see if I get it wrong. So if we drag it, we get a try again, and the ability to not just go and position that sun elsewhere, but you should have seen a red flag there appear, which indicates where the shadow would have been had the sun been positioned there. So now we're on the English Language Arts Elementary Content Pack, accessed in exactly the same way by going to File, Open, and selecting Language Arts. You'll notice it's menu driven in exactly the same way as the Science Elementary content, but I can also search by way of text resource or writing frame, which is really useful for the K6 English Language Arts teacher. Now, in many of our content packs, we also include extension activities, which is why you see some 7th grade relevant stuff within the science, the math, and the language arts content packs for elementary to really help you to extend those higher ability students. So I'm going to go to our text resource bank and poetry, and it's really nice being able to navigate to poems, to writing frames without having to search the web and really think about whether stuff is copyrighted or not. At RM, we've worked with a lot of the major publishers, but at least I'm confident in the knowledge that whatever I show within this menu, it's actually licensed for my classroom. So let's look at the shape poem. So I have my poem, I have some nice graphics, some nice visuals to go with it. I can get my student reading it out. Don't forget, I could also use the speech tool within Easiteach to read out that poem, and it does acknowledge punctuation within that too. To show you how the content packs have been designed to really get the most out of the curriculum toolbars, I can select my Language Arts toolbar by going to Toolbars and Language Arts. I can click on the Close Underline tool to take out any of the rhyming end words within that poem for them automatically to be within the word wallet, getting students to think about rhyming and the endings to those sentences. So you'll see how all of the content is differentiatable. It's not locked down. We can do what we want to it. We can file and save our changes. Every teacher likes to adapt a prescribed curriculum. If you're given something, you want to differentiate it. Easiteach allows you to do that. Finally, let's give you a taster of the math elementary. So selecting my math, you'll notice that it warned me that I'd made changes. Do I want to save them? Well, no, not in this case. So getting rid of my language arts toolbar. You'll see, again, it's menu driven. We have our mental math. We have interactive teaching programs as well. So if I'm looking at something like symmetry, I get an interactive teaching program that really allows me to highlight to my students what symmetry actually means. We can change the line of symmetry. We can view the reflected image by clicking on our tool here. So students can actually build their own object. They can predict by clicking on the squares what that would look like if it's reflected, and then compare their reflected object to the actual image. There are hundreds of lessons, activities within each of the elementary content packs. They were just a snapshot. I would really encourage you to explore the rest of our website to get to know more of what is within our content packs, as well as reviewing the state standards section of the teacher resources page to see what correlations are actually there.